You wake up in the Capitol barracks, and the first thing you see is the white fabric of your uniform draped over a metal chair. The moment you pull on those boots and snap the belt, your name and your personality are hidden away. The system is designed for total uniformity, turning you into a visual blank slate. Every crease must be perfect. If there is a single stray thread on your shoulder, the commanders don't see a person making a mistake. They see a flaw in the Capitol's image of perfection. This constant, low-level anxiety starts the second you dress. You spend your mornings staring into a mirror, seeing a faceless soldier instead of a man, expected to be as rigid and anonymous as the white stone walls you're guarding. Your first deployment is the training center. You stand by heavy steel doors, holding your rifle at a precise angle. Through reinforced glass, you watch children, some barely old enough to shave, practice with spears and knives. Your absolute mandate is to remain an invisible observer. You cannot offer a nod of sympathy or a look of pity. In the Capitol, weakness is a punishable offense. You watch a tribute stumble in sheer terror, and you stand there like a statue. The daily mechanism of your job forces you to treat a scheduled death sentence as a routine event. To survive, you slowly erode your own conscience, maintaining a blank expression to keep up a fragile illusion of control. Then comes the opening ceremonies. You are assigned to a concrete plinth on the parade route, standing motionless for 6 hours under the blistering Capitol sun. Your legs ache, your back stiffens, and heat radiates off the pavement. The city around you is a screaming blur of neon colors. Look at this animated neon data chart hovering above the tribute silhouettes. It tallies the survival odds and betting statistics flowing through the hysterical crowd. The people next to you are throwing flowers and gambling on who will die first, while the tributes riding by on gold-plated floats stare out with vacant, terrified eyes. You are a silent prop in a fashion show celebrating murder. You are the only person in the square staring straight ahead, seeing the horror for what it is, while everyone else sees sport. If you flinch or look disgusted, the Peacekeeper commanders will notice. When the games begin, you are shifted to the arena perimeter. You walk the length of an electrified fence that hums with a vibrating frequency you can feel in your teeth. The air smells heavily of ozone and scorched earth. The rule is simple: nothing goes in and nothing comes out. Through the chain link, you watch genetically engineered wildlife pacing the tree line, their eyes reflecting the blue electricity. You are the keeper of the cage, but you are also trapped on a razor-thin boundary. On one side is a lethal arena of mutations. On the other, the Capitol's execution squad, waiting for you to fail. Occasionally, you pull a shift in the control room. This top-down holographic map shows how the game makers view the arena. They sit in dim lighting, treating human lives like abstract glowing dots. With the flick of a wrist, they release giant mechanical forces, and tiny dots are wiped off the board. As the map zooms out to the perimeter, a massive cursor hovers over a single outside dot. That dot is you. Interrupt them, and they target you next. The state has completely gamified death. Despite carrying a heavy rifle, you are reduced to an entirely helpless, complicit bystander, watching a group of bored adults play with lives for sport. You are often pulled from the perimeter to work the Capitol's VIP lounges. You direct traffic and hold umbrellas for socialites draped in silk, ensuring their champagne continues to flow. You are a highly trained soldier of a feared regime, reduced to a subservient valet for people who have never seen a day of hard work in their lives. Then you deploy to the inner rim near the cornucopia. Standing on a high ledge, you watch the pedestals drop. From above, the immediate bloodbath looks like a swarm of insects fighting over scraps. You watch a child get cut down by a larger tribute. Your strict orders are non-interference. When the fighting stops, the retrieval process begins. A hovercraft is sent in, and you stand by as a mechanical claw lifts a lifeless 16-year-old form from the dirt. There is no time for mourning or dignity. You handle the remains with the cold, clinical efficiency of removing broken equipment so the cameras can keep rolling. Processing human tragedies like logistical inventory
fractures your psyche. You watch the worst moments of 24 lives play out simultaneously, forcing your mind to go entirely numb just to survive the shift. Out on patrol, the electrified fence flickers, the hum stops, the blue light dies. In that sudden silence, your total dependency on the Capitol's fragile technology grid is exposed. Watch this frantic point-of-view footage. The erratic flashlight sweeping across an empty, terrifying tree line is what you see when the electricity fails. Without the power grid, you transform from a powerful zookeeper into vulnerable prey in the middle of a nightmare. The danger follows you back to the briefing room. A superior officer paces the floor, looking for a reason to make an example of someone. Discipline is enforced through public fear. You watch a fellow guard beaten with a leather strap over a minor uniform infraction. The pristine white uniform offers zero protection. It acts as a highly visible target for the commanders who actually hold power, breeding profound distrust and terror among your own ranks. You spend your shift watching your back against your own squad. Eventually, you rotate out of the Capitol and guard the gates of an outer district. The neon luxury is replaced by gray dust and charcoal skies. You stand at an iron gate, enforcing order through pure physical intimidation, watching hollow-eyed workers file out of the mines. Look at this stark radial map charting your deployment at the gate. You are the solitary white dot in the center, immediately surrounded by hundreds of hostile red threat vectors. You are the physical embodiment of the regime that steals their food and children. You freeze under the cold, silent hatred of the citizens, realizing the impossible odds if the crowd ever pushes back. At the end of your shift, you return to a concrete dormitory where the fluorescent lights never fully turn off. You lie on a narrow cot in heavy silence, but your sleep is constantly interrupted by the phantom sounds of the arena, the distant screams, the starting gongs, the humming electricity. The compounding trauma triggers a slow-motion mental collapse. You are physically present, but your spirit remains completely trapped in a loop of the horrors you've witnessed. You become a ghost haunting your own life. To guarantee your loyalty, the Capitol invites you to a lavish feast in the Officers' Club. The tables are piled high with colorful, engineered luxury foods. You chew shimmering jellies and drink sparkling wines. But surrounded by velvet and gold, the food tastes like ash. You realize the luxury is a systemic bribe. It functions as a golden leash, paying you in engineered comfort to ignore your role as an assistant to murder, securing your silent, unquestioning obedience so you never dare to question the order of things. This overlapping geometric grid maps the Capitol's inescapable CCTV surveillance network. The cameras track, scan, and analyze every inch of your emotional output. You find yourself standing in front of a mirror, actively rehearsing a blank expression, performing your loyalty for hidden lenses in the walls. The games finally end. Massive fireworks explode. Confetti falls over the parade route. You stand rigidly at attention, saluting the newly crowned victor as they are paraded through the Capitol streets. You look at their face and see a visibly shattered, broken human being. The celebration provides a temporary release, but nothing actually changes. Next year, the uniforms will be cleaned, the fence will be recharged, and 24 more children will arrive. The true horror of the job is its cyclical eternity. The games take a brief pause, but you remain permanently trapped, an expendable gear turning endlessly inside a machine of murder.